stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech.
Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
That actually affect not just the British, of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
The UK's relationship with America is hanging by a thread tonight after Trump and JD Vance absolutely demolished Starmer's credibility on live television. The Labour leader is scrambling for answers as his free speech hypocrisy gets exposed on the world stage. Senior Labour MPs are now privately questioning if Starmer can survive this diplomatic catastrophe. His attempted damage control speech has fallen completely flat.
Attacked by Russia, will you come to their aid?
If the British people are in Ukraine and they get attacked,
If British soldiers in Ukraine.
you know, I've always found about the British, they don't need much help. They can take care of themselves very well. But if they need help, I'll always be with the British, okay? I'll always be with them. But they don't need help. You look at their career, you have done very well over the years, haven't you? You know what? No, it sounds like it's evasive, but it's not evasive. You know, the British have been incredible soldiers, incredible military, and they can take care of themselves.
With both domestic critics and international allies seeing through the hollow promises. The political earthquake this has triggered could reshape Britain's place in the world. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. When Starmer walked into those high-profile diplomatic meetings, he clearly thought he could play both sides. Champion of free speech in one breath, advocate for tighter online regulation in the next. But Trump and Vance weren't having any of it. The mask slipped, and what followed was nothing short of a diplomatic earthquake that's still sending aftershocks through Downing Street.
We discussed all this, though. We've been discussing, Mr. President, while we have the Vice President here. Are you both disappointed that the AfD didn't come first in the German elections, given your previous support for them?
No, I'm not disappointed about anything. If anything, you would say that the group that we would be most opposed to lost, but we got along with them also. We have a very good relationship with all groups in Germany. Whatever happens with Germany, look, the relationship has been very strong with Germany, but we'll have to see what happens. They have a lot of things going on right now. We'll have to see.
Trump's criticism cuts straight to the bone. He called out Starmer directly, pointing to the glaring hypocrisy of a man who stands, chest puffed out, proclaiming how proud he is of our free speech history, while simultaneously overseeing what Trump described as an assault on our freedoms. It wasn't just political theater, it was a calculated exposure of the contradiction at the heart of Starmer's governance approach. The most damaging aspect of Trump and Vance's critique wasn't just what they said, but the specific examples they used to back it up. They highlighted how the UK government has been arresting citizens for sharing memes and so-called thought crimes, concrete actions that make a mockery of Starmer's free speech platitudes. Even more concerning for Anglo-American relations, they raised alarms about the UK pressuring American companies to censor content from American citizens. We've seen politicians dodge criticism before, but this was different. This wasn't just disagreement, it was diplomatic demolition. When Trump's team stated they took it very, very much too far regarding UK speech policies, they weren't simply expressing mild disapproval.
Well, so President Zelensky's coming to see me on Friday morning, and we're going to be signing really a very important agreement for both sides because it's really going to get us into that country.
And we want to work with you to make sure that peace deal is enduring, that it lasts, that it's a deal that goes down as a historic deal, that nobody breaches, and we'll work with you to make sure that that absolutely happens.
And having to do with rare earths and other things which we need for our country. and we appreciate it very much. And I look forward to seeing him. We'll be talking about it.
They were firing a warning shot across Starmer's bow, signaling that his approach to free expression could have serious consequences for the special relationship. JD Vance's contribution to this takedown was particularly powerful. His declaration that we believe in free speech in this country and will fight forward for American citizens wasn't just rhetoric, it was a direct challenge to Starmer's authority on the international stage. The contrast couldn't be more stark. On one side, American leaders defending individual liberties. On the other, a British Prime Minister whose words and actions are fundamentally misaligned. What makes this situation particularly explosive is that it wasn't confined to public exchanges. Commerce Secretary Lutnick followed up these criticisms in private meetings, confirming this wasn't just political posturing, but a genuine diplomatic issue that could fundamentally reshape UK-US relations. Behind closed doors, the message was clear. Starmer's approach to speech regulation has crossed a line that the potential next US administration simply won't tolerate. For Starmer, this couldn't have come at a worse time. With Trump's potential return to the White House looking increasingly likely, the Prime Minister now faces the prospect of dealing with an administration that views him as fundamentally hypocritical and untrustworthy. His carefully crafted image as a reasonable, moderate leader capable of working with all sides is crumbling in real time. The internal fallout has been swift and severe. Labour MPs are reportedly discussing Starmer's leadership capabilities in hushed tones, questioning whether he possesses the diplomatic skill to navigate this crisis. What was supposed to be a routine diplomatic engagement has morphed into what one Labour insider described as not just a diplomatic incident. We're watching the beginning of a leadership crisis. Starmer's attempts to defuse the situation have only made matters worse. His speeches meant to reassure the public have fallen flat, lacking both substance and clarity. Each time he tries to reaffirm his commitment to free expression while simultaneously defending his regulatory agenda, he only reinforces the very contradiction Trump and Vance exposed. The ripple effects extend beyond just Starmer's personal standing. His entire approach to governance, the delicate balancing act between progressive policies and traditional values, is now under intense scrutiny. If he backs down on regulation, he risks alienating parts of his base. If he doubles down, he faces potentially catastrophic consequences for UK-US relations at a time when Britain desperately needs strong American ties. What's particularly remarkable about this political body blow is that it wasn't delivered by Starmer's traditional opponents. This didn't come from conservative rivals or domestic critics. It came from the potential next president of the United States and his running mate. The international dimension elevates this from a typical political squabble to a genuine crisis of leadership and diplomatic standing. What we're witnessing isn't merely Starmer caught in a diplomatic bind. This has escalated into what insiders describe as the beginning of a leadership crisis. Behind closed doors at number 10, panic has gripped Starmer's team as they frantically attempt to reshape their narrative in response to the American criticism. The scrambling suggests a fundamental weakness in Starmer's leadership approach that even his closest allies can no longer ignore. Public opinion polls now reflect what many have suspected. Starmer's carefully constructed image is crumbling under real pressure. The question on voters' minds isn't just whether he's hypocritical on free speech, but whether he possesses the backbone to navigate international relations at all. He's trapped in a political straitjacket of his own making. Stand firm on his censorious agenda and watch the special relationship with America crumble, or retreat and look spineless to his base. Either way, this confrontation has exposed the hollow core of his leadership, a man who claims to embody British values while systematically undermining them.